Head coach Will Condon from Lindenwood in his eighth season. Coach, in your first two seasons in the OVC, your team fell in a couple tough five-set semifinals, uh, and now you have this veteran squad. How does that give extra fuel to to get them ready for this season?
Well, I think that definitely they were a little disappointed with how we finished the year that in the sense of like we created a great opportunity and we're very competitive and we had our opportunities to win that match and at least play one more. Um, so, so that gave a bunch of players a lot of motivation about either going into the spring season and preparing for the fall and during the summer just kept their fire burning maybe a little hotter than it has in the past because they know um, where we finished and what we have coming back.
Coach, the conference is in recent memory. Might have been one of the closest votings that the OVC has had. Your team was picked to finish fifth, even receiving a first place vote, but there was only 22 points that separated you from the top vote getter. Talk a little bit about that of the respect that teams are also giving you, and as well as the fact that uh, is it the openness to be able to claim a championship?
I mean, I think there's kind of the two sides of it. A preseason poll. I mean, it doesn't score any points for you. It doesn't win any matches for you, so it really doesn't mean anything. Um, and the other side of it is we finished third and we return everybody, and apparently people think we got worse. So not really sure how that's going to play, but we'll see what happens.
Well, Coach, you obviously point out a couple different things that, as we had mentioned earlier, given that extra little motivation, that little fuel. But what are some of the things that you do like most about this team and its strengths?
Well, I think that going through the process of the transition, that is a tough thing, and we have a bunch of players still on our team that were recruited to do one thing and are doing something else. The thing that has impressed me throughout this whole process with them is how much they've just embraced that challenge. There's always a amount of uncertainty when you're dealing with competition. This was almost exponentially more uncertainty for them, and they've just embraced it. They've kind of risen to that challenge. We kind of looked at it. The first year it was, can we win? Last year it was, we could win, and then this year is just kind of a different mentality because we have a lot of people that they've been through it a couple times, so they have an idea of what to expect. And I think that sort of uncertainty has left the building, and it's more about what are these little things that we need to do, to win two more points, basically.
Coach, you return, as you mentioned, a majority of squad, you including a couple of VC selections, Jesse Seidel and Nia Wilson. Kind of talk about what you expect out of all of them, but maybe uh, Jesse and Nia, maybe helping lead your squad a little bit.
I mean, the reality is that the we don't have any one or two people that are going to lead us this year. We have, between 6 and 8 people that have a considerable amount of playing time in the last 3 or 4 years. We added Addie last year from off the SEMO team, and she brought a great deal to our program just with her experience and her grit and her toughness. Rebecca has started for 4 years. Um, Allie Otten, who's been in the program for a long time, and as a 6th-year player, she's had some injuries and some other issues, and she's a 6-year player, so she has a great deal of experience. And even players like Abby have really improved a lot over the last 2 years. So we don't feel like we have 2 leaders. We feel like we have 7 or 8, and that kind of makes the burden of carrying that over the course of the season. You're able to spread that weight out a little bit, and I think that that's beneficial in the long run.
So again, with so many returners coming back and having all this experience, and of course knowing what it's going to take for them, but what is that one extra little thing that your team's going to need to really focus on to bring home that championship?
I mean, it's all about the margins, the little one contact. We're really focusing on just playing the cliche of playing 1 point at a time, but really trying to break that down and what does it mean. I think that when you have a team that cares as much as this team does about their performance and the outcomes, it can sometimes overwhelm you because you do care that much. So just learning to kind of put that aside and focus on playing and each individual contact and working together to win just a couple more points here and there over the course of a season is very significant.
Coach, your schedule, your non-conference schedule, it's a nice mixture, but it's also competitive. I've got some strong teams in there: Kansas City, Florida Gulf Coast, Missouri. Kind of elaborate a little bit on this schedule and what it went into deciding to put together a nice competitive schedule.
I mean, it's a combination. Our players, they really wanted to go somewhere because we didn't the year before. They had a great experience when we went to UConn. So we kind of going back to that area and choosing to go to Northeastern. We're very fortunate in where we are that it's very accessible for us to play some solid teams in our backyard. And then, we were looking at, what kind of experiences can we give this group that they haven't had before. So, going to Mizzou and playing there, another home tournament, to give them that opportunity, and going to Northeastern to experience, a different area of the country, but also going to a place like Illinois State, where they've always had kind of a tough program. And then, going to UMKC was about trying to get, Addie close to home for a match or two. So there was a lot that went into it, but I think overall it's giving us a good mix of what we're looking for.
Good. Well, Lindenwood head coach Will Condon, we definitely appreciate your time, and we wish you the best of luck this season.
All right. Thank you.